Real quick before we get started, we have something really cool we want to tell you about.
Voidmonster.org is a website started by the MTG artist Forrest Immel that drops new TCG-inspired apparel every single month.
This month's drop is the Green Collection, featuring a super intricate green mana design.
And this time the drop is all about the accessories, so you can get a deck box, a playmat, sleeves, and even a binder too.
Pre-orders only have a week-long period, and they're going on until May 3rd at 12 p.m. Pacific time.
So use our link in the description below to go to voidmonster.org and get the Green Collection before it's too late.
Now let's get into the podcast.
Here we go.
Hello.
Can I look at you?
You may look.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Number one, I want to say this. Made it to Master Ball tier in Pokemon Champions, so fucking jot that down.
Nice. I'm still fucking around in Great Ball.
But then I also decided to try singles a little bit, and I got to Great Ball in singles. That format sucks. That's not good or fun at all.
No, what is it? It's just like a bunch of...
It's the same. You start with 6, but then you only choose 3. So, like, if you lose 1 mon, it's a third of all of your mons, which feels much more drastic.
That 1 mon was 3 mons?
Yeah, exactly. And, like, obviously I don't know what I'm doing really, so I was making a couple mistakes, but I was doing pretty good. Your setup time is so much easier. Like, if you have a positive matchup and you, like, iron defense, body press, you can, like, annihilate them if they didn't pick their team right or whatever. And Archaludon is fucking insane. Is that how you say that one? Archaludon? That's how I say it. But
that sounds like a dish.
But the singles felt like once you get the setup, if you can get the setup, you annihilate them. It feels like it's hard to come back. But that's probably because I don't know the format as much.
No, I agree. I've been having a lot of fun with my Sun team, although I think I want to take Venusaur off.
I started with Venusaur and then I realized he kind of sucks.
We have Whimsicott on the team. That's
Sunny
why.
Day, that shit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunny Day goes off, Sunny Day comes up.
Sunny Day has been so helpful, and Tailwind has been so helpful. And I feel like if I wasn't on Whimsicott, I would want to be on Venusaur instead. But because I'm on Whimsicott, I don't really need Venusaur. And we were talking like, oh, is it like a Mega option?
Yeah.
It's not, because like if I built it Mega, I have to lean into like the defensive bulky thing because it loses chlorophyll and gains thick fat.
Thick fat's crazy, and like the bulky stuff is good, but I feel like since our brains are small, we need to attack.
Oh, I'm very aggro in VGC.
Don't fuck around with defending. Like, I don't know the math very well. My Chars are big. He do big heat wave. That's what I want to do.
I don't want to give you the option to like crit me at an opportune time.
Yeah, but also, dude, we've talked about this before. Encore is like my favorite move ever. If you can like finagle the situation, I had this come up twice recently where I finagle it into like a 2v1 at the end and I encore them into protect, and then I just like encore, and then just annihilate them with the other mon. Dude, like, it makes the end game so much like, okay, if I can see a definitive end here because of encore.
Last night I used Sunny Day to change the rain and then encored Archaludon into its move that needs the rain to be up to attack every turn. Yeah. And I had Guard Chomp out and then this.
Yeah, they're so dead. Just concede.
Don't
stop embarrassing yourself. Just concede. Okay, we'll talk about more about you.
We could do a whole
I could keep on going forever and ever
right
about
now,
my
but
team.
this is here right now.
Let's talk about the Secrets of Strixhaven. Secrets.
Yeah, nobody knows anything about this set except for us.
Except for us and everyone else. You're standing up straight?
Yeah, I'm just trying to make
sure. Should I lower the camera down a little bit more?
Yeah,
I
want to slouch. Yeah, do you have a phone book? Like a booster seat?
Should I turn off and rebalance?
No, I bet it's straight.
Cubby can fix it.
Cubby Burden just flashed.
Cubby Burden. You ready?
Yeah.
This podcast is brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. Use code PLAYTOWIN5 with your link down below for 5% off to help support the show. Take it like a kiss.
Welcome to the Play to Win podcast, where we talk about winning in cEDH. That was way harder than I thought that it would
Street
be.
style, I feel like.
Yeah. Those are the letters of the day, and I'm Cam.
And I'm Dylan. This week we are talking about Secrets of Strixhaven, the new set that's coming out.
This weekend, the pre-release for you watching was last weekend. The set releases this weekend. We're going to talk about our thoughts on the cards in the set for cEDH, and if any of them are any good. There's a couple good ones. There's a couple bad ones that we'll talk about anyway.
I believe everything that you just said.
Yes, Scout's honor.
I'm an Eagle Scout,
You know it?
so I got it.
Give it
On
to
my
me.
honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God in my country, to obey the Scout law, LOL. To help
threw you
other-
off.
Well, yeah, you did. Nah, I haven't said it since I was 18.
I was a Cub Scout, and then the day I became a Boy Scout, I was like, that's enough for me. No, thank you.
So you did the arrow?
The only part that I remember is the cars. Cars with the
Pinewood
weights.
Derby.
Yeah.
I made a Pepsi machine the one year.
That makes Pepsi, or?
No, it was just a wood block because I didn't want to do any work on it.
I did make a Pepsi machine.
Yeah,
it just doesn't work.
I just painted it to look like a Pepsi machine, and I put wheels on it, and that's what.
And it was like rectangle shape. You had to have lost that.
It was
by a lot.
rectangle. Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Annihilator, right?
But it was-
Aerodynamics was the key. I had a great car one year. It was like perfectly designed, aerodynamic. I had my stepdad at the time who knows cars and stuff help me out. And then like right before the final race, I put the car on the ground and I think it got dust on the wheels and it slowed it down and I lost. Felt real bad about that one.
Yeah, I hear you. It affects your life every single day, I think. Yeah.
I shouldn't have put the fucking dust on those wheels. I would have won that race. God damn it. Let's talk about the cards in the set. You have a list in front of you. Do you want to go by color, alphabet? How do we normally do it? We switch every time?
We should switch every time. Let's go by...
I want to say color.
Do you want to go color identity or just color?
Commander style.
Cool. Well, let's start with white.
White cards.
And let's talk about a road.
A road.
This is what's happening to all my brain cells.
I think I can remember what this one off the top of my head. Let me see. It is for a white mana, singular.
I'm going to make you do this to all these.
White mana, singular, instant. It says destroy target creature or planeswalker. Its controller may search the library for a basic land to put into play tapped.
Then
there's more stuff than that.
Shuffle.
Oh, then shuffle. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise,
wouldn't that be funny if it didn't say that? It's like you can just like stack your deck however you want.
Yeah.
After that, that's the important part.
Yeah.
Okay,
then
sure.
put whatever cards in your deck you want on top.
Okay, I was gonna say, remember when they used to say you shouldn't shuffle your library and they just got rid of it?
You just get up and just do a little dance. I
shuffle
guess.
your hand if you want.
Kind of like this card.
It's almost good. I don't know if it's great in cEDH. We have a lot of good options. Swords to Plowshare is still way better. Why do you need more than 2 pieces of interaction to kill creatures? More than 1, realistically.
And I guess Path to Exile is even better than this too, because Exile is better than Destroy.
Like in a vacuum, I would say Exile is better than Destroy, but like what indestructible creatures do we have? Kind of none, but like them going to Exile rather than the graveyard might be relevant.
That's really what I mean. Yeah, like so that way it doesn't fuel Underworld Breach for some reason.
Yeah, it can't Eternal Witness it back later or something like
or
that.
Or something Savine's Reclamation too.
But like your Savine's Reclamation Underworld Breach is like rarely creatures if you're Savine'sing a creature, but I guess you could Savine's Reclamation a Planeswalker, but the Path to Exile doesn't hit the Planeswalker.
The Path to Exile doesn't hit that. And I guess if there's a lot of Sisay in your meta, this might be like an upside to that too.
It might be something.
Maybe like in the rare times that you would have to Path to Exile yourself for a land.
Yeah.
Now you can Savine's Reclamation back whatever you have to erode.
Yeah. Planeswalkers, obviously we always talk about not super great in our format, but there are a couple ones that have seen a little bit more play recently. I've seen a lot more Sisay lists play things like Ashiok. So if you want to like not get got by the Ashiok, they search library for Ashiok, still with your tutor on the stack, erode the Ashiok and then go tutor. That's something.
Tezzeret Cruel Captain is one that stays in play and people really want to stick around for a while. So that's a good like engine that you can get rid of for people.
And Tezzeret can be like kind of a powerful, like almost like combo engine with Displacer Kitten. So like being able to stop that in its tracks, although probably just kill the Displacer Kitten instead realistically, but you have the option, you have the choice.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a couple other Planeswalkers that see some amount of play. We talked about Sisay and there's some like Tyvar, like in the middle of a Tyvar loop, destroy the Tyvar. But again, like your Swords to Plowshares could also hit the Derevi, which would be better because you're exiling it and then they can't get it back or whatever. In the situations that I'm thinking of that you want to hit the Planeswalker,
you could hit Bloom Tender instead.
You can still hit the creature for most of the time. And like Narset, Part of Veils is a card that I always think should be good in cEDH and just never really pops up. But if it ever is good or if it's good in your meta, maybe this could be something. I don't really like changing my removal to be able to get rid of specific things. I would like a brawl. I want to get rid of as many broad things as possible. So really, I want like Chain of Vapor as my removal.
I want to bounce a non-land permanent.
I want to bounce a non-land permanent. We've already talked so much about this card. I think it'll see play in other formats, but cEDH, it's going to be like if you're in 1 or 2 colors in white and you want like a third creature removal.
Because you're not in blue.
Because
one
you're
of your
not in
colors
blue.
is not blue.
And you're maybe also not in black because I think Dismember might also, I have a preference towards Dismember, but I think Dismember also might be better than this.
Probably in some decks, but that's the only good black removal spell that we have that's not Deadly Rollick though, too, I guess.
It weirdly is in the conversation of like top 5 creature removal in cEDH.
It's
like,
better than that Manifest one that we just got a little bit ago,
way
for
better
sure.
than that. We've gotten a couple that are like that where like they make 2 clues or they make whatever. Like
whatever is flavorful for the set that we're in now.
1 mana is just like insane.
This is just a classically good version of this card that's going to be like a staple in formats that might not have Path to Exile. Is Path to Exile not in Pioneer? Is Pioneer existing in Magic anymore?
I don't think anyone cares about Pioneer.
Well, let's shut the fuck up about that and this then.
This is like 2 would be generous.
Out of 5, by the way. So a 5 is a cEDH staple that goes in every single deck. A 4 is a good card that goes in a bunch of cEDH decks. A 3 probably goes in 1 or 2 decks. A 2 you could play if you really wanted to, but there's a lot of better options. And a 1 is a cEDH card that really you shouldn't play. It's not really a cEDH card.
And then 0 is a not cEDH card.
Bracket 4 or lower.
Yeah, okay.
That's our white cards.
That's it. Let's move on to the next color.
Here we go. We're going to move to blue and talk about... Cubby, I'm sure, did something great with that.
He'll make you look good, I'm sure.
I've noticed that, there's way more coughing involved in the podcast since Cubby took over.
Every time we tell Cubby, like, hey, Cubby, cut that. He's like, actually, I will accentuate this and make it the joke.
What can I do to you? All right, an Exhibition Tidecaller is next. This is a 1-mana Jin Wizard that's an 0/2 with Opus, which I fucking love that we have a name called that now.
Like, it has Opus, like that's the name of its like italicized
it just
ability.
Has Opus. I want to have Opus so bad.
But no other card has Opus, right? This is just like a name given to its ability that they do now.
I bet that other things have
Really?
Opus.
Okay.
I don't know that we'll talk about them or that I saw any other cards with
Sorry,
Opus.
I'm distracting too much. What
If
does the
I'm
card
being
do?
honest, yeah. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 3 cards. If 5 or more mana were spent to cast that spell, that player mills 10 cards instead.
Envision this. You have Underworld Breach in play.
Yeah.
You have, why can't I remember the name of it? The 3-mana instant that you draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, untap 3 lands?
Careful Study.
Nope.
No. Fuck. That was close. Frantic Search.
Frantic Search. Frantic Search and 3 lands in play.
Yeah.
Right? You untap your 3 lands and you cast it for free. When this triggers, you'll exile 3 cards and you'll also draw and discard 2 cards. And then you can use those 3 cards to recast the Frantic Search, untap your lands, and then tap them again to recast it and mill yourself out again. It's kind of like a build your own grinding station.
Yeah, it is.
Grinding Station with a Mox Opal works in a very similar way, except you net mana through the process. Whereas instead of netting mana with this card, you net 2 additional cards in your graveyard each time, because the cards that you mill over, you have to exile them to recast Frantic Search, and then you draw and discard 2 cards, and then you have 2 more cards in your graveyard.
Yeah, and I think that works. This is also kind of like a weird DRC too, I would think.
A weird DRC, yeah.
Except like I like DRC that if you like what's on top, you can go, oh, I would like that, please. But if you're just trying to like turbo an Underworld Breach situation, like this makes sure that your intuition will win you the game, because it also gets you 3 free cards into your graveyard too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops, one of them was Savine's Reclamation. Now I can go get something else.
Whereas like I see DRC see some play in blue farm type decks, whereas this is like DRC is an actual infinite in the breach line. It's just like really helpful and gets you there pretty quick.
Yeah.
This skin like can go infinite. It also works with like Snap, except you need a bunch of other creatures to be able to keep going, or you need like one of your lands to like make enough mana to be able to recast this thing. I don't know what that would look like because of the blue situation. You need like Utopia Sprawl or something weird.
Who knows? But I mean, it's just a win condition on its own, because if you just cast an infinite number of instant and sorcery spells, you just mill out your opponents then too.
Sure, if you're casting infinite spells, I'm sure that wins the game. But yes, this let's go a little bit extra.
It just works really nicely with Thassa's Oracle in general.
Sure, I think this is nothing, but like the fact that like if someone top deck tutors and you cast an instant or sorcerer, you source the Plowshare somebody else, trigger this, mill that person for
You
what
can
they
like
tutored
2 for 1 them.
You
This
can
kind
sort
of feels like if a deck like the Wandering Minstrel likes Hedron Crab.
Yes.
If there's like a version of Wandering Minstrel that cares so much about their graveyard and instants and sorceries, I think this might be something. Like if you're, I don't know what that deck is off the top of my head.
Some sort of breach deck. It doesn't have any power though, right?
No power.
If it had power, I would say like, oh, maybe this is actually a blue farm card because you could attack with Tymna. It still honestly might be. It might be a little bit too niche, but the fact that this combos with the most powerful card in our format, Underworld Breach, I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think Breach is like kind of Breach
the best win condition.
Best win condition, right? It combos with that. You would have to play Frantic Search, which isn't a card that sees tons of play in those style of decks, but is a card that does see play in Storm decks. Maybe like Ral would want to play something like this. Maybe you want to lean more into like a Gaia's Cradle version of an Underworld Breach type of deck.
VV.
If you're on VV, like there are Storm decks that want to play this. I could see this card being a
lot
card.
of those decks don't have a way to get Underworld Breach back if you mill it over, though.
Right,
it's kind of the problem.
You kind of want the Breach first and then like get this and then go a little bit, or just like hope that you don't hit the Breach. Like what are the odds you hit exactly Breach?
Interestingly enough, maybe this is a Rograk Ishai card. Where part of your win condition against decks that aren't prepared, like have to draw their whole deck, is that you're going to mill them out over the course of the game. And as you're interacting, you're getting rid of their resources as they keep drawing cards with their heuristic studies too.
I hate that so much. I don't like that because you could accidentally feed them. You could like give them resources in their graveyard so that their breaches are better or something. Or
well, you're leaving their heuristic studies in play and feeding them all the time. Like your whole strategy is to make sure that everyone draws cards.
So you're like
in
your head, you're like envisioning you can like naturally mill them out with this.
Yeah.
No, it's bad. It's bad. That part's bad.
I think this card needs a rating.
Yeah,
based on its ability to be a grinding station.
Did I say Ranger Captain of Eos? Ranger Captain of Eos. You can find this with Ranger Captain. That's a 1-drop. I don't have to say that all the time, but
that's kind of fun.
Does this have a keyword? Does this have flying or something?
No, it just says Opus.
It just has the Opus, right?
Yeah.
This is, I think, better than a Road. I would say this could be one of those quiet best cards in the format, and holy shit, we have another way to go with Underworld Breach, and maybe that's nuts. This could be a fucking 4. I don't think so. I think Brain Freeze and Grinding Grinding Station are both better than this because Grinding Station works with all of the mana rocks that you already want to play for the most part.
Yeah, you don't need like one specific card to go off with.
And Grinding Station is for colorless mana, which is, at least for Rogsai, often extremely relevant because I can use my extra Mana Vault mana to cast this, sack the Mana Vault, get an extra mill. But whereas this you have to get into board like first.
Oh, but this also works if you like are in a spot where like LED or Lotus Petal are kind of like not there, but Dark Ritual is there. Sure. And now every time you cast Dark Ritual from your graveyard, you get to mill over and then you can just do it again. And then that way you just make like a, maybe not infinite black because you have to go through your deck, but you have as much black or red mana as you need because it works with Rite of Flame.
Any ritual.
Literally any ritual.
You have to be able to recast it, so not Culling the Weak, but like Rite of Flame, you could go blah, 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 infinite with that. Yeah, Cabal Ritual, as long as you can, you can go infinite with that.
Exactly, yeah. Any ritual works really well with this.
Maybe this is a really good card. Is this a really good card or a medium card?
This bumped it up a whole number for me, I think. I think this is a solidly 3.5 is what I want to give it.
This might actually just be better than, I don't know. It seems similar to Grinding Station. It's cheaper than Grinding Station.
It is way cheaper than Grinding Station, but like, okay, couple other things though. It is blue, which means that like if you can pitch it to everything that you want.
Sack it to Flare of the Blue.
Maybe you get to play Flare of Denial in your deck because of this now too. Like here's a 1-drop creature that you're going to have. Like this
blocks, so like that's kind of irrelevant, but it blocks.
But that also feels Underworld Breach.
Yeah, it doesn't die immediately to a Bowmaster Enters trigger, which is nice. This might be about as good as Grinding Station the more I think about it. The fact that I realize now with the ritual thing, that you don't need specifically bad Frantic Search. You can just do it with any ritual.
It's actually really nice with just like a ritual.
Oh, that's good. I think this is a 4. I think this is a 4.
A 4?
I think this is a 4.
I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because I could see it not being there, but I think we talked about a lot of really, really good synergy with it. Yeah. The Ranger Captain of Eos thing makes me think this actually could be a blue farm card. Like,
right?
For fucking real.
Read it again. Am I reading it wrong? Target player mills 3 cards.
If 5 or more mana were spent to cast that spell, that player mills 10 cards instead.
I don't care about that. You could
ad nauseum.
But if you wait, if 5 mana was spent to cast it, so not if I cast Force of Will for free.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. But
so that's why it has to be like ad nauseum or something like that. And you mill
10 off at ad nauseum. That's kind of nothing.
Or you mill someone 10 off in ad nauseum.
Yeah, get him down. I do understand what you were saying earlier. If you're just like grinding, and like the game never ends, and just like every time you counter spell, mill someone 3.
You're gonna do that to 3 players, though. That
feels not as good. I think this is a 4. I think actually, the more I think about it, I think this might be an actual real card.
We spent a lot of time on the first 2 cards. We got to keep going here. Pensive Professor, we don't have to spend a ton of time on, but this one's funny because for 1 and 2 blue, you get another O2, but this one has Increment, which says whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent is greater than this creature's power or toughness, you put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And whenever 1 or more counters are put on this creature, you draw a card.
This works with Lannis.
You're absolutely right. I had to message our patron Olden Groomfee last night when I was looking at this. I was
the one guy on the planet who plays this deck probably likes this card.
His whole Discord was talking about it, though. Yes.
Okay.
If you're going through your extruder line, you get to put infinite +1/+1 counters on your Lannis, your extruder, and whatever other creatures you have. And that means that with just this and extruder, you now have a 2-card combo with your commander. Well, not you now. Like, this existed with Fathom Mage, but it's way easier.
Another one.
Yeah, it's way easier because it's a whole less mana and a whole less color pip, and you still get to draw your whole deck out.
Is there any other home for this? Like, whenever you put a counter on it, draw a card?
No, whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anywhere else this could go, but like, whenever you do blank draw a card, I like that line of text. That's a good line of text.
It does have also, whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent on it is greater than the creature's power, and it starts with 0. So if you cast a 1 mana spell, it's not even instant or sorcery like everything else in the set.
Cast a Soul Ring, draw a card.
Cast a Soul Ring,
Monolith, draw a card.
Yeah, and then on your Timna, you get to draw a 3rd card.
How much mana is this total of 3?
It's 3.
Yucky. This is
no,
like
it's not good for that. It's
Prodigy,
good for Lannis.
like the Prodigy, like what's the Frog Prodigy?
Polywog Prodigy.
Only for yourself and like only a very, very limited amount of times.
But it's a wizard, so you can get it with step through.
You would never, but you could.
Lannis would.
Yeah, this is like below a 3 because it only goes in I think 1 deck, and that deck is, no offense, not really a great deck that sees a ton of play. So
it's a fun brew, yeah.
I would give it a 2.5 though, because I think it does have a home in a weird deck.
Solidly 2.5, yeah. Does this card have a home? It's called Thunderclap Drake.
Oh, I saw it. I didn't see this until you put it on the list, but I think this is a RAL card, right?
Oh, do you know why? Because it's a reprint.
Is it?
I'm realizing it's a reprint.
No shit. Cut that.
Ominous Harvest. This is 2 and a black for a sorcery with Gravestorm, thing we haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
So whenever you cast this spell, you copy it for each permanent put into a graveyard from the battlefield this turn. And you can have target player draws a card and loses 1 life.
For 3 mana.
For 3 mana, yeah, for 2 and a black, but it's for every single thing that went to the graveyard.
Korvold fucking loves this card, number 1.
Oh, yeah.
Korvold loves this card. If you can get it to go off, like, this could be super crazy. This could also, like, I don't want to say stop loops. Like, if someone's going through a breach line and you get them with this and force them to draw your whole deck, it's a storm situation.
Oh, you can't because it's a sorcery.
It's a sorcery. This card sucks. Sorry.
So here's my question. Are treasures cards?
Treasures are not cards.
But they are permanents?
They are permanents, but they're not cards.
So
yeah, permanent or card.
When a copy for each permanent put into a graveyard.
It works for treasures.
So if you crack treasures, then that's...
Any tokens, if they go to the graveyard, this will trigger.
That will work, okay.
If you're doing Timna Dargo situations, sack a whole bunch of stuff to cast Dargo, cast this, draw a bunch of cards.
Seems really cool. Yeah, in like any Dargo deck. I guess also in a Culling Ritual deck, cast Culling Ritual and then use 3 of the mana that you make to draw a fuck ton of cards.
Yeah. There's a small situation that this card will be Divination or worse in your hand, and that is devastating.
But it could be Necropotence.
It could be draw 30 cards. So I don't really know. Ceiling seems high, floor seems super low.
I think realistically, if it hits you anywhere between 8 and 13, I think you're really happy.
3 mana to draw 8 cards, and sort of like uncounterably so because of the copying that it makes. Like, they can't just like fucking force of will it. There's 7, you'll draw 7 instead of 8.
That's the thing, yeah.
That's huge. That's like the strongest part about this card.
But you're right. If you do have Valley Floodcaller and someone is breaching, like, you can start to flash this in and start to put copies on, you know, players that are decked out. Shout out to them.
Shout out decked out. I think this card's almost something. I'm not positive because it feels like the floor is super low, and if you top deck it at the wrong time or whatever, it can be really bad. It just draws you cards, but like, drawing cards is so fucking good. I want to draw cards. That feels really powerful. And 3 mana is cheap, like you said. If this can, I mean, drawing 5 would be powerful, but like, I don't know necessarily cEDH strength.
Not great. Yeah,
6,
I'm not in love with drawing 5.
Yeah, once you get into 8 or like 10, if you can draw 10 cards off of this, powerful card.
But yeah, if I like crack a fetch land and then sacrifice a creature,
I don't think ROG wants this, but I don't know. I could see a world where like, because a lot of times in ROG, you're just like sacking 3 things and then cast ad nauseum, and like, that's way better than this. You know what I mean? I don't want to like sack 3 things and draw 3 cards. That's not good.
I'm thinking of this in like a Culling Ritual situation, because after a Culling Ritual, if I ad nauseum, it's really good. After a Culling Ritual, if I demonic tutor into any other black or green card, it's good. And if this is just like a card that I have in my hand after I Culling Ritual, I'm going to get a ton of value.
That's a win the game right there. That's a 2-card combo.
That'll feel like a win the game. Yeah.
I think this has potential. I don't know exactly where. Dargo, Timna, and Korvold are like the closest options I can think of, and there's maybe a couple other decks.
Jund Rograk. I think if you're on Jund Rograk, I would seriously consider this.
I could see something like that. I could be wrong about this one. I think this one is around a 3-ish. What did you give it 3.5 to?
I gave it 3.5 to the thing that's really good, the Exhibition Tidecaller, because I'm an idiot.
I think this one's worse than that. I'm going to give this one just a solid 2.8.
Like a 3.09, I want to give it.
That.
Yeah. So that's what it has.
It's almost a card in some decks. I think I could be wrong. It could be way better than I'm thinking, but the floor feels too low for me to give it a high rating out the gate, so I want to see you play a couple times.
There are way too many red cards that we have to talk about for some reason. Blazing Firesinger is 2 and a red for a 2/3. That is a dwarf bard. Oh my god, this works with Magda. I didn't even put that together. Yeah. It enters prepared. While it's prepared, you can cast Seething Song with it.
Right. This is the first time we're bringing up prepared so far.
Correct.
What you said is what it does. Once it's prepared, you can cast the instant or sorcery attached to it.
And then doing so unprepares it.
I think most of the prepared cards are traps for cEDH. I think they look powerful on the surface because they are strong cards, but Demonic Tutor is not powerful because of the effect. It's powerful because of the mana cost.
Yeah.
2 mana is strong to search your library. 6 mana, not so strong. That's another one that we're talking about now. Maybe Cubby has it on screen, but like the extra mana for the effect, that makes the card not good.
Exactly. Yeah. In limited, it's broken. Having a 4 mana creature that later for 2 mana you can Demonic Tutor, that's broken. Having a 5 mana creature that for 1 extra blue mana you can draw 3 cards in limited, that is broken.
The 3 mana one like allows you to like surveil at certain points and then reanimate something. Like that seems really good.
There's a lot of gross stuff that's going on in limited for this format, I think. But in like the cEDH perspective, a lot of these effects just end up being 2 mana. By the time you're allowed to draw 3 cards, you have to put 6 mana into it. The One Ring at least is 4 mana to let you draw 3 cards.
And it gets better and better and better over time, whereas these get like worse and worse and worse over time because you have to like re-prepare them in certain ways.
Because they're only good with Displacer Kitten.
They're all reasonable with Displacer Kitten, and the only reason why this one is on the list is because it goes actual infinite with Displacer Kitten.
You make plenty of mana so that way, whenever you Seething Song with this creature, your Displacer Kitten trigger, because it counts as casting an instant or sorcery, a non-creature spell. So that will trigger your Displacer Kitten so that you can re-blink the Blazing Firesinger, and then that will re-prepare it to give you a new Seething Song, and you already have 2 red mana sitting right there. So that means that you make infinite red mana with just these 2 creatures and the free Seething Song that you have.
3 to make 5, 3 to make 5, 3 to make 5. I do see some Rograk Thrasios decks play Displacer Kitten. Maybe that deck who's playing Displacer Kitten in that style would want this as well as another way to go infinite.
It's just funny that it's like a Gaia's Cradle creature that for 1 less mana can get you a Thrasios activation if you really need one.
Yeah, I could see something like that.
Before you go infinite with it.
It's a lot of mana. You spend 4 mana on a Displacer Kitten, and then you spend 3 mana on this, and then you spent another 3 mana. So we're up to 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 3 is 10. So you spend 10 mana to make infinite mana. Why not just play Omniscience? Omniscience. Yeah. Why not just play Omniscience? Obviously, that's a little hyperbolic.
Why do you want to play Omniscience, though?
Doesn't that make all your things free?
Yeah.
So same thing.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
That doesn't even help you.
Why not just play Omniscience? Yeah.
That doesn't activate Thrasios, though, so I guess Omniscience would be worse. And this you split it up amongst 2 different creatures. They're easy to search for. Obviously, I'm joking. But it's a lot of mana to invest, but I think that could make this one kind of reasonable. There's probably a couple other weird homes where this might be good.
Yeah, like Magda, because it's a dwarf.
I don't think so, though, right? Because you're joking? Because what are you going to do with 5 mana?
Nothing. What are you going to do? This doesn't make 5 treasures. And whoa, if it made 5 treasures.
Oh, baby.
Hello, Ominous Harvest. Here I come.
There could be a world where, like, this is just like Seething Song on Suspend is reasonable in a Storm deck. I don't really think that's the case. I think
not Natali, I'll tell you that.
I think he got, not Natali. No, yeah, not Natali.
Like, in theory, you could cast this on turn 1, and then on turn 2, Seething Songs.
No, that's bad then, because you have to find 2 more mana still.
That's the thing. Yeah, Seething Song is good because people don't know about it until you cast it. Like, that's what makes Seething Song good.
I don't think it's going to see play in other decks, but I could see a world. Where I'm wrong about that. I think it's got to be Displacer Kitten. I'm not even sure about that. There's the other one too, the Ancestral Recall that's gotten a lot of hype. The Arch of Emeritus. No, that's not what it is. Something.
No, but I didn't put it on the list.
We're not going to talk about that one because, like, yes, you Displacer Kitten and draw 3 over and over again, but you have to get the blue mana.
You don't have to. It's just play Seedborn Muse in your Thrasios deck instead.
I think this card is like a 2, 2.5. I could be wrong, and it could be like a solid 3. And in Rograk Thrasios, this is actually incredible. That could be true. I'm not sold on that, but that's where I'm seeing it right now. And maybe, I don't know.
2.25 is what I'll give it. Yeah. Choreographed Spark Dancer. This is 2 red, so it's red. So that means that you have to pay 1 red mana and then a 2nd red mana to cast the spell.
Well said.
And now you get an instant for that can't be copied, but you get to choose one or both. So you can copy target instant or sorcery spell you control and choose new targets for the copy. And then you can copy target creature spell you control, and the copy gains at the beginning of the next end step sacrifice this token.
9 mana to make 2 tallies? You have to do it right away? No, right? Like, it's worse than Twin Flame because if Twin Flame is the exact same thing, but you can choose to spend the 2 mana later, whereas this, you must cast it while a tally is on the stack. It's a creature spell that it copies, not a creature.
That's the thing, yeah. Like, Twin Flame is good because I can spin into Twin Flame and it still copies a tally, and this doesn't do that.
But if you spin into this and a Demonic Tutor, then you can copy the Demonic Tutor that you spin into, and then
if I spin into this, yeah, that's true.
1 Demonic Tutor should probably be pretty close, but 2 was like seals it up.
Yeah,
I don't know. You tell me. You're the Atali. Is this an Atali card?
I mean, you cut Flare of Duplication.
Right.
And that's what that does, but better.
Right, because Flare can copy your own Atali spell?
It's normally your Atali spell, but...
It can't copy Atali, though, right?
No, Flare. But if you spin into Twin Flame and someone else's Flare of Duplication, you can get 2 Twin Flames still.
Yeah, whereas this, though, if you make 9 mana and you cast Atali and then hold priority and cast this, make a copy of Atali, it's a one-shot Roaming Throne that you must cast at the same time.
At the same time, yeah.
But Roaming Throne is good because you get Roaming Throne on turn 1, and then you cast turn 2 Atali, and then that's good.
I think this is probably hard to do.
I think so, too.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It is cool. Yeah, you can get a creature. That is interesting.
Right? It's interesting.
And it has to be one you control. Could you imagine if you could, like, take someone's Atali?
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that would be powerful. And it can copy also an instant or sorcery spell? What's the other mode?
Also an instant or sorcery spell, yeah.
That's bad. Reverberate's bad.
We know that Reverberate's bad already, yeah.
And I imagine this is bad, too.
I would imagine this is bad, too. I'm going to give this card a 1.5.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I put it on because maybe Atali.
Because maybe Atali. I love talking about maybe Atali.
We could be wrong. Maybe Atali. I think you're right. 1.5-ish.
Flashback is our next card.
I think this is a card.
Flashback is our next card.
Nice.
This is 1 red for an instant, and it gives an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard flashback, and the flashback cost is equal to the mana cost.
Snapcaster Mage is bad. This is a little bit better. I think this card is interesting. I'm considering it in Rogsai. I think it works really well with Dark Ritual because for 2 mana, a red and a black, you can cast Dark Ritual, make 3 black with that red mana that you have, flashback on your Dark Ritual, cast Dark Ritual with one of the 2 black that you have, and then make another 3 black, and you have 5 black mana. That's an ad nauseum. I love that. That sounds great, and I love that.
And if your ad nauseum gets countered because you cast it some other way, now you can flash back your ad nauseum if you need to.
If you didn't do what I just said, yes, you can flashback ad nauseum in a different way because this doesn't have flashback. You only get the 1 shot of the flashback.
But if you Snapcaster Mage your flashback, then you can give flashback to your ad nauseam.
There you go. This also works really well with Jessica's Will because the mana that Jessica's Will makes and you cast it as flashback and Jessica's Will again, that's pretty good. I would consider that like Rogsai can win off of 2 Jessica's Wills a lot of times.
Yeah.
So, like, that seems very powerful. It works really well with anything in your graveyard. Obviously, it gives you another shot. I've been considering, and I think this is blasphemy, I've been considering cutting maybe Yawgmoth's Will for it because Yawgmoth's Will is powerful in a vacuum and historically has been so strong. But when was the last time I won with Yawgmoth's Will? Very, very rarely.
No, but that's because you have Underworld Breach to win with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it just, Underworld Breach is so much easier, and Yawgmoth's Will works against Underworld Breach, and like, Yawgmoth's Will is like the backup plan. It's like when everything else gets countered, I do the Yawgmoth's Will to try to go again.
But because this has synergy with some of the rituals.
Right. This, like, there's a similar thing where, like, it allows you to go again. It allows you to, like, get that Demonic Tutor. I just need the one Demonic Tutor, and then I'll go find Breach, and then I'll win instead. Whereas, like, the Yawgmoth's Will, like, in other formats, Will is so powerful because you have such a mass amount of actual rituals, whereas, like, the Turbo decks in our formats are split 50-50 between rocks and rituals.
Yeah.
So sometimes you make a bunch of mana, but they're not in the graveyard. So Yawgmoth's Will isn't good. I don't know if that's right or not. I don't know if Yawgmoth's Will is the cut.
This doesn't like flashback a land. Like Yawgmoth's Will is like kind of flashback on steroids when you get like to flashback everything in your graveyard.
But 3 mana is a lot. That's just a lot of mana. You have to like have all of the rituals going and stuff.
I guess, yeah.
I could be wrong about Yawgmoth's Will. I'm willing to be wrong about cutting Yawgmoth's Will. I just personally, I barely ever play the card. I barely ever, but I also barely ever resolve Mnemonic Betrayal except for when I win the game with it. So like,
I guess this has like a little bit of extra. I think the Dark Ritual is really nothing to snuff at. I think that
this is
that
good
kind
in
of
the
maneuver.
Yawgmoth's Will is never good in the beginning. It's
And same thing with Mnemonic Betrayal.
Right.
Mnemonic Betrayal and Yawgmoth's Will like are there for when you demonic consultation for something and you get rid of a bunch of other stuff that you need in order to win the game. Whereas like if you're stuck with this and you get rid of the stuff that you can flashback, it's no longer helpful that you have this. Whereas like Mnemonic Betrayal and Yawgmoth's Will can like still put wins together with the other stuff that you have or your opponents have.
I see what you mean, but flashback also works pretty well with demonic consultation. If I demonic consultation and name Thassa's Oracle and go get it.
Oh, and then that's just like a 2-card combo with that. Yeah.
Flashback does a similar thing that Yawgmoth's Will does while allowing you to like rebuild again in the late game, but just not as big of a way, but like it gets you the one thing that you need.
I feel like it works well with all of these cards together.
It works well in the beginning and the end.
Yawgmoth's
Will
exactly.
only at the end.
I think it also like works well with Yawgmoth's Will. Like what if your Yawgmoth's Will gets stopped because like that's the way you're going with, and now you can flash that back too. Just like having more options.
Yeah. I also think
you should play this as your 101st card and just play 101 in the deck.
The cuts are so tight at this point because like I feel like the worst cards in the deck, I'm talking about Rockstar specifically right now, the worst cards in the deck, you can't really swap them out for this. Like to me, Time Twister and Wheel of Misfortune are still like the 97th and 98th cards in the deck.
This is great with like Wheel of Fortune in general and Wheel of Misfortune too.
Yeah, it's good with those cards too, but like I can't cut Time Twister or Wheel of Misfortune for this card. I can't cut gas for not gas. Flashback isn't necessarily gas. It's just like boost, you know what I mean? So I can't cut gas for that. There's like so few places to cut. I don't really know what. But I also think not just Rogsai. This is probably good in Well, Atali, it might be okay in Atali. I'm not sure about that.
I'm thinking about it for Atali,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's interesting. And
there's
then
some
Ral,
hands where it's insane for,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then like Ral, I think like Ral actively really wants this.
I think so too, yeah, because they already want Past in Flames and just being able to like single target. They already play something. There's another card that for 1 in a red gives another thing in your graveyard flashback, yeah.
And Recoup has flashback itself, but it only gives sorceries flashback, whereas this gives anything flashback. If they're playing Recoup, they gotta want to play this.
They gotta want to play
right?
this,
It's gotta be in the same ballpark. Recoup being 2 spells on 1 spells is sort of relevant, but the flashback
really
cost
4
is a
spells
lot.
on 1 spell.
Sure, you're right. It's 4 spells on 1 spells, whereas this is like 2 spells on 1 spells. But
I don't know. I think I'm gonna give flashback a 4.
I think it's gonna be great in turbo decks, and maybe even some non-turbo decks. I could see it seeing play in Blue Farm. I could see it seeing play in a lot of decks. It has to work with something specific. Like when I said it works in the beginning and the end, it only works in the beginning if you have a ritual start, if you have specifically Dark Ritual or Desperate Ritual when Ral is out, or
does Kefka make you discard a card when you trigger Kefka?
It does.
This could be good in Kefka too.
Sure.
It just like helps you set shit up.
I think I gave the blue thing a 4. I think I also, when we talked about it, that card actually seemed a lot better than I initially thought.
I think I underrated the blue card. Yeah.
I think I want to give this one the same because I initially thought flashback was quite high, and the more I think about it, the more I think flashback might be only mediocre. Like Snapcaster Mage doesn't see any play. Snapcaster Mage is 2 mana rather than 1, which is huge, and blue cost rather than red, which is huge because there's tons of red rituals, which makes it easy to cast flashback on another ritual. Like it really is helpful helpful in that way.
You could do the
that.
recoup thing in Rogsai right now, too. You can still make 4 mana off of your 1 Dark Ritual.
Right. Wait.
Because recoup is just 1 more mana. Does recoup really only hit sorceries?
Recoup only hits sorceries, I'm pretty sure, but recoup costs 1 more mana. So Dark Ritual plus recoup isn't 5 mana.
Well, no, but it's still 4 mana.
That's not good.
Better than not having 4 mana. It's better than having 3.
It's got to be 3 or 5. Beseech the Mirror is okay, but it's got to be 3 or 5.
It's only sorcery, so you can't even do that. So my genius plan doesn't even work. My plan that was definitely playable and would work.
And your plan also, you have to cast Dark Ritual for 1 mana and then recoup for. Oh, I guess you can use one of the Dark Ritual mana that you make and go down to 2. And
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then you cast Dark Ritual again. But yeah, you only need 4. That's
you
good.
still net a mana.
That's not good.
Itali needs every way to make 1 extra mana, and it doesn't even work because recoup can't target that ritual. All right, so what are you giving Flashback?
I think I said 4. I think I want to lock in 3.9.
3.9. All right, I think I'm gonna give Flashback a 3.2.
Okay.
Because I think it definitely will see play in Ral. I think it might not quite make the cut in Rogsai.
Okay.
I could see it not making the cut, but I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
try it for sure. I'm gonna
I
try
think
it
you
for
should
sure.
because I think that Dark Ritual thing is really strong.
Yeah.
And 2 cards to make an ad nauseum together is really strong.
But then we're also talking about that's like a 3-card specific right there. It has to be better with things that are not just Dark Ritual and like casting 2 demonic tutors for 5 mana. That's not really a great rate. Like,
yeah.
So I don't know. I think I'm standing with 3.9. I feel like with this one and the blue one, I could be wrong about both of them in the opposite direction. The blue one might be way better. This one might be way worse.
I mean, you can set yourself up for wins over the course of turns too, so that you don't look as scary. So like you can Vampiric Tutor and get something. The next end step before your turn, you flash back your Vampiric Tutor and then do that again.
Is the Vampiric Tutor card still on top of your library?
You would have Vamp Tutored and then drew the card for turn. Okay. That's what I was trying to imply.
Is this a sorcery or an instant?
It's an instant.
It's an instant. That's good.
That is really nice.
That's
yeah.
good.
Even counter spells in graveyards is something that is plausible.
True. Yeah.
They have to spend the mana on them, so it's kind of like
mana.
Snapcaster Mage, but like a well-timed Mental Misstep or Flusterstorm or something like that that's only 1 mana might be something.
Yeah, definitely. It could be something. Yeah, it's important to note that if you flash back a Fierce Guardianship, you have to spend 3 mana on that flashback Fierce Guardianship. Not
Force of Will is 5 mana.
Right,
you don't have an alternate cost.
Yeah.
It tells you the cost.
But I do think this card is very good. So 3.9 is the rating that I'm going to stick with.
Did you put Mica, Reader of Ruins, on here, or did I?
What does that card do?
It's 3 and a red for a legendary human artificer that's a 4/4 with ward, pay 3 life. Now, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you can sacrifice an artifact, and if you do, you can copy that spell and choose new targets for the copy.
Did I put that on here?
I put it on here because treasures exist, and if you sacrifice a treasure when you cast your demonic tutor, that's just like a 3 mana 2 demonic tutors. That's way better than 5 mana 2 demonic tutors we were just talking about.
Oh, no, because you have to cast this spell also.
Oh yeah, but that's just gravy.
So it's a 7 mana 2. It's like
it's 7 mana for 2 tutors.
That's worse than what I said earlier.
But way more upside because then I can
Copy
do
the
this.
next thing, maybe?
Yeah, the next thing that I get, my ad nauseum can get copied. I can get 2 ad nauseums.
I don't love it.
I can get 2 counter spells if I sacrifice my mana rock that's already tapped.
I don't think so.
Okay, it's a 2. It's a 1.
A 1. I'm going to give this one a 1. It's a 4 mana spell.
It's a 4 mana spell.
And then if you cast a spell, if what was it? If mana,
no, it's you cast an instant or sorcery.
If a treasure was used to cast that spell?
No, if you sacrifice an artifact along
while you
with
cast it?
Yeah, it's a trigger. Sacrifice an artifact if you do copy that spell.
So you can sack a mana vault and then copy
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it can be like treasures are like a thing that you could have in spades.
It's a 4 mana spell.
4 mana spell, yeah.
1.5.
1.5. Aziza. We're in 2 color stuff now.
Yeah.
This is the Mage Tower Captain. This is a red and a white for a legendary Djinn sorcerer that says when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you can tap 3 untapped creatures you control, and if you do, you copy that spell and choose new targets. I'm getting sick of talking about the same ability all the time.
We built this deck for the gameplay episode. I'm confident it's the worst of the bunch.
Nice.
Yeah, when I built it, I said, oh, maybe if you can copy some Jessica's Wills, and if you copy a Gamble and you go find Savine's Reclamation and Underworld Breach, that's a win.
That's really good.
I think it's bad, though, because the version that I built, not enough ways to get creatures into play, I think. So, like, copying stuff was too difficult, and you have such a pull between, like, wanting to put stuff that you want to copy and, like, wanting to put creatures in the deck. So you kind of have to hit, like, Charismatic Vampire or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have to hit something like that specific for it to, like, kind of go crazy.
And, like, Song of Totentaz isn't really that good even.
I put in the alarm one, the instant speed, 1 and an X, make X warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Instant speed, you know, I don't know.
That's something, yeah.
Something.
If you get the chance to copy it, that's twice as many little dudes.
This card has small. That's one of the things.
It has it.
And it technically does have combo potential because it sort of makes Gamble into a weird 1-card intuition. It makes it into a win if you have 3 creatures that are untapped, and also you have a ton of mana, and also you have like a bunch of cards in your graveyard. So like not really at all what I said, but
maybe you could set it up. Yeah.
So it's small and almost combo potential, and that's it. Not good, I don't think.
Probably not good.
It's probably gonna win with dual Master Mage on turn 2 in our game, but not good, I don't
Exactly.
think. I'm going to give it like a 2. I could have built the deck all wrong. There could be a completely better way to build it with like, you're playing a bunch of like sound the alarm effects. I only played like one Krankos command, but like that feels bad. You're playing a bunch of like cards that like make a couple tokens. That doesn't sound good, you know?
Maybe there's other ways where if you tap other creatures, you can like deal damage and then like you keep tapping.
There's the one thermal card that says you can tap to deal damage, and then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, untap it. So if you like tap it to do the copy ability to cast an instant or sorcery, then you untap it, and then you just need 2 more creatures to copy another spell.
There's got to be something where like maybe this works inside of Ulalek or something. I don't know.
If Paradox Engine was allowed, we're getting somewhere.
Then we're getting somewhere.
You know what
yeah.
I mean? If you could play Jeskai Ascendancy in this deck, then maybe that's something.
That might be something.
If you could play Valley Flood Color in this deck, then maybe that's something.
But they fixed it by not making it 3 colors.
Maybe in the 99, this is something in like a weird Jeskai Ascendancy deck. I don't think so though.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe like I'll give this a 1.
Okay, I'll give it a 1 too. Like a 1.2.
12, pretty good.
Yeah, 12. We got a best card of the set. Yeah. Applied Geometry is 2, a green and a blue for a sorcery that creates a token that's a copy of target non-aura permanent you control. Ah, fuck. Except it's a 0/0 fractal creature in addition to its other types. But you get to put 6 +1/+1 counters on it.
What did you think it did?
I thought it could just copy anyone's Rhystic Study,
Yeah,
but it
only
has
your
to
own.
copy your own.
You can copy your own Gaia's Cradle, and then your Gaia's Cradle dies, but then this is a Gaia's Cradle that's a creature.
That's a 6/6.
It's a creature.
And how
Gaia's
funny
Cradle.
would it have been to have copied someone else's Necropotence and then attack them with the 6/6 Necropotence?
That's good, yeah.
Really funny, right?
Yeah.
Too bad you can't do that
Yeah.
because there's no decks that play green and black and blue all in them.
Clever Impersonator is only playable because it copies any non-land permanent, including your opponent's things, and it's a little bit easier to cast than this, being blue rather than blue-green. Although I'm not sure that that's true. Blue-blue might be the same as blue-green.
I think this card sucks because of
Yeah.
the you control thing.
Yeah.
I think like Flash Photography is great because it could have Flash if you copy something you control, but you don't have to copy something
You
that
can
you
also
control.
copy their thing.
Yeah, I think this is just like worse than Altered Ego in every
Yeah.
capacity too, because at least Kinning can spin into Altered Ego.
This isn't even a creature on the stack.
And no, it's not a creature on the stack, so it's way easier to counter too.
I'll give it a 1.
I'll give it a 1 because it is still a clone, but it's a bad clone. Now let's move into the Golgari cards. And Dina's Guidance is the first one. This is 1, a green and a black. For an instant that says search your library for a creature card, reveal it, and then you can put it into your hand or your graveyard.
Or your graveyard. That's the important part. This is Eladamri's Call or Entomb, which is powerful. Tutors are always strong. 3-mana tutors are always questionable. Right now, the only one that I think that it's actually good in the format is Praetor's Grasp. I won twice at locals the other day with Praetor's Grasp, where I was just like using Breach with Praetor's Grasp to take all the win conditions from the other rock side player.
That's so
awesome.
funny. Oh my God.
This doesn't do that. This does not take win conditions if you have exiled all of your win conditions. This only gets a creature, but it's instant speed. Instant speed is huge, but Eladamri's Call doesn't see a ton of play.
No.
Neither does Entomb, but they're on the same card, so that makes it a little bit better. This is more expensive than both of those. I don't know.
This is definitely going in those Timna Halana decks that pop
Sure.
up every once
Hulk
in a
decks.
while. Yeah, because it's great with
Right?
Protean Hulk.
Gotta
yeah.
be, I would
There's
say.
now 13 Protean Hulks that you have. Yeah.
I think that maybe we say Tyam every time, and Tyam's barely even a deck at this point. Maybe Tyam wants this. I don't know.
Maybe Tyam does. Yeah.
Realistically, you know what might also be good? Timna Thrasios decks that want to play the squirrel with the 0/2. Why can't I
No
remember any
kidding.
names?
Yeah, the Chatterfang.
Nope.
What are you talking about then?
The 0/2 that makes infinite mana with the squirrel that exiles and makes a food.
They
something
play
with something with an
Timna-
H, maybe.
like, I was thinking of like a
Brewmaster.
Yeah, Hazel's
Hazel's
Brewmaster. I was
Brewmaster.
thinking about like a Warren Soul Trader
Nope.
and Chatterfang thing.
Maybe, but no, that's not what I was thinking about. Hazel's Brewmaster
Yeah.
and something Druid.
Yeah, the Hermit Druid.
Nope.
Devoted Druid.
Devoted Druid. This can either entomb further Devoted Druid or find the Hazel's Brewmaster if you have one or the other. So, like, maybe that's good, right?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, it is instant speed too, like Eladamri's Call. So it does have like, I don't know, it's just weirdly flexible. I kind of like it.
Yeah, and we're like, I don't think this will ever come up, but like, you can instant speed search for a subtlety, and then subtlety is someone's thing. Or you can, you know what I mean? Like, some flexible situations
Do
there.
the same thing with an Endurance probably
Sure.
too.
Yeah, exactly. I think this one is almost good. 3 mana is a lot. The bar is pretty high. Like Grim Tutor is barely playable, and Grim Tutor can get anything. Grim Tutor is a sorcery and can't entomb the thing, so there's obviously differences.
There's no life loss
There's no
downside.
life loss, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think this one's probably close. I'm gonna give this one like a 3. I think
I was gonna give it a 3 too.
I think this could go in a couple of decks, and I think it'd be a fine slot in those decks. So yeah, 3 for me.
Witherbloom, the Balancer, is is 6 and a black and a green for a 5/5 legendary Elder Dragon. It has affinity for creatures and flying and death touch, and instants and sorcery spells you cast also have affinity for creatures.
Right. So even though it has a huge mana cost, more often than not, this is probably going to be 2 or 3 mana.
I think realistically, you're getting this into play on turn 3 a lot of the time. Maybe turn 2 if you have like a pretty nutty draw that like requires Dryad Arbor and Priest of Titania out on turn 1, and then you also get to play like a couple of other elves and then get to slam this guy down or something.
This also combos with a couple of things with buyback.
Yeah.
What are they? They make tokens. Doesn't really matter.
Oh, I can't believe I don't remember the names of them right now, but there's I know, right? There's an instant speed green spell, like 1 and green, you can make a Saproline, but for 3 extra mana, you can buy it back.
Right.
And because this has affinity, what this lets you do is
affinity will make the buyback cost also less.
so just for a green mana now.
Make a 1/1, tap the 1/1, make a 1/1, tap a 1/1.
How do you-
not affinity doesn't work. That's not Convoke.
But the thing does. The thing has Convoke.
The
It's
buyback
so
spell has
good. Is
Convoke?
the buyback spell has Convoke. That's why it goes infinite.
That's why it's
There's
good.
another one that makes a rat but doesn't have Convoke. It
So
just
it
has
doesn't actually go
buyback.
infinite.
But so it's just like each one black mana that you have can make you another thing, which can help make all of your other spells way better. But what makes this go infinite is that it also has Convoke, so that you can make infinite tapped 1/1s and make it so that all of your instants and sorceries only cost the pips.
All right, so yeah, you have a 1-card combo with your commander that only makes infinite tap 1/1s. That's not enough. You still need something else.
You still need something else. Yeah.
I've heard a lot of chatter about this card. I don't really see it. I don't think that it's something, but I've heard a lot of people be really interested in it. Given your instant and sorceries affinity for creatures, that's a cool line of text. Making stuff cheaper. I could see that being a powerful bracket 4 thing. For cEDH, I'm not really exactly seeing it, but I could be wrong about all this shit, obviously. But it's one of the decks that we're playing for the channel. There's only so many options, and it's close. It's definitely close.
I think it is really close, yeah. And you already get to play like a lot of really good cards that you want to be playing in this color combination, which isn't really saying much because it's not really a good color combination on its own. But there's some powerful shit. Like there's that card that's 5 and 2 black that says discard your hand, tutor for 3 cards.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be way better if it only costs black, tutor for the 3 perfect cards?
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Especially if you put your whole hand into play because it's just all 1/1s that you were trying to spit out.
I think this is going to end up being a little bit similar to Chatterfang, which is a black-green deck that does token stuff and does like similar things. And I actually think Chatterfang is like weirdly pretty good. Chatterfang has a lot of really good combos. It's really powerful with Warren Soul Trader. It does a lot of really neat things.
Now, all that stuff works really well in this deck too.
It sure does. Yeah, it sure does. But Chatterfang is like, it's only 3 mana always. It's always 3 mana.
That's the thing,
This, you have to work so hard for it to be 2 or 3
I have to play things that are bad in the meta because, like, if we run into Orcish Bowmaster somewhere, oh man,
my God.
thankfully we won't. Oh, maybe we will. There's one other black deck in this pod, so maybe we will.
The other deck,
yeah. All right. Well, what are we giving this guy then?
I don't love it. I'll be frank with you.
I think Franklin, I agree.
2?
I'm gonna give it a 2 because I don't like its color combination, and I don't like that its 1-card combo doesn't win the game on its own, and that it needs something else.
Your commander being a 2-card combo, like your commander and 2 other things, that's not anything because every deck is that because you can play Thoracle Constellation.
Yeah, it's not really taking like great cards and making them even better. Like we're taking cards like Blood Pet and allowing Blood Pet to be in our combos, and I'm not really interested in like playing Blood Pet a ton in like, cEDH at least.
I feel like we say this a lot that like you should be looking for cEDH decks that make good cards better, not decks that make bad cards playable.
Oh, great! Now Elvish Mystic I can play again in the format.
Yeah, like that's not good. We want to make good cards stronger, like the Silverquill. If we're talking about that one, quickly.
That one is next, actually. Yes,
I think that one has it does something like that.
Yeah, Silverquill the Disputant is 2, a white and a black for a legendary Elder Dragon with flying and vigilance, and each instant and sorcery you cast has casualty 1. So you can sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater and then copy that spell.
I think this one is kind of interesting. Being able to 4 mana is like it's not cheap, but it's like cheaper than the other ones. And
so it's very reasonable.
It's reasonable-ish. 4 mana is reasonable-ish. And like, yes, you do have to play some, I don't want to say bad cards, but they're kind of bad cards. I put in a couple of Doom Traveler type of things. A 1 mana creature that when you sacrifice it, you make another creature.
There's a lot of Doom Travelers that we have now.
Yeah, we have a ton. I ended up cutting like 2 or 3 from the final list because I'm like, this is too many Doom Travelers. We don't need all this
Are
shit.
you on like the ones that sacrifice to make treasures too?
Those are specifically, I think, some of the best ones realistically.
That makes sense.
Green Freebooter, and there's another one. There's a zombie that does something similar.
That could also give something -1/-1 if you wanted to, but that's never better than making a treasure in this circumstance.
I think so. Like, say you have a greedy freebooter in play, and you have your 4 mana commander, and you cast Dark Ritual, and you sacrifice the greedy freebooter, and you make a treasure, and then you get to copy the Dark Ritual. Boom! You have 6 black mana and a treasure. That's 7 mana for a Peer into the Abyss. That's kind of neat, right?
If you have another creature, you could copy your Peer into the Abyss.
Say you sack the Doom Traveler instead with the Dark Ritual, and you make 6 black mana, and then you still still have a creature. Then if you have like another thing in your hand, like having Dark Ritual and Demonic Tutor in your hand, that's pretty good already. But
that wins the game immediately,
right,
I would
but
bet.
then you can sack the first one to copy the Dark Ritual, make 6 black, and then cast Demonic Tutor, sack the second thing, having 4 black left over, and then go search your library for 2 things.
Yeah.
There's a couple of different like chain type things that you can do with this. You can make a ton of mana out of your rituals. Stuff like, oh fuck, what's the name of the ritual that makes a black mana for each a Song of the Damned? Makes a black mana for each creature in your graveyard.
That's funny, yeah.
So say like even if you just sacrifice the one creature for a Song of the Damned, that's a Rite of Flame because you sacrifice the creature. There's one creature in your graveyard, and then you get to copy Song of the Damned to make a black mana, make another copy, make a black mana. That's the worst.
That's the worst case scenario,
right?
is that it's Rite of Flame.
Say you have a couple creatures in the graveyard because you're playing a couple more than you otherwise would because there's a bunch of 1 mana creatures and shit. You sack them and you make 3 mana, and then you make another 3 mana, and then all of a sudden you make 6 mana with your Song of the Damned.
That's really good, yeah.
Right? So there's a couple of situations where like it makes rituals and tutors way better at the cost of needing to play 1 mana creatures that are kind of bad-ish.
But are way easy to get
But
and
they're
just
so
like
easy to get and play, yeah. So I think this is something. It's a pretty good Hoarding Broodlord deck. It's a pretty good Reanimator type strategy.
It seems like a great Bowmaster deck when like you sacrifice the token and then like keeps making you tokens. Are you an Ophiomancer perchance?
No, I'm not. I felt that was too much. 3 mana was too much. I wanted all the things that work with it to be like realistically
Good
1
call,
mana.
good
You know
call.
what
I mean, it's enough of an engine where like I think if you had the ability to cast a spell every turn, it would be better.
Yeah.
But maybe Bowmaster is just better for the fact that like when you want it to be big, it can be big, and when you don't need it, you can like just punch it.
Yeah, and the combo that I went with was Sephiroth, Warren Soul Trader, and the Crime 1 mana creature. What's the Crime 1 mana creature that whenever you
Forsaken Miner?
Forsaken Miner, whenever you commit a crime, you can cast it from your graveyard for another black mana.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-card combo. That's 3 cards, way too much. And then, you know what I mean? But you don't need your commander for it. But all of them work kind of well with the strategy. Sephiroth can sack a Doom Traveler, you draw a card, and the Doom Traveler, you still have the token.
Yeah.
Warren Soul Trader can sacrifice a Doom Traveler and make 2 mana out of it. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's so easy to double your tutors that like you really only need to find 1 tutor and then 1 of these other 3 pieces.
Exactly.
And then your 1 tutor finds you the other things you need.
Forsaken Miner it can be in the graveyard. You can entomb for that one. It doesn't have to be in play. Like I think all of the cards kind of individually work pretty well with the strategy already. So even though it is 3 cards, your main thing is like reanimating a Hoarding Broodlord and get a Peer into the Abyss off the stack. And then once you draw half your deck, assembling the 3-card combo is kind of like whatever.
You're in a great spot.
You know what I mean? I'm also playing the White World Scourger Dragon.
Abdel Adrian.
Because even though that doesn't actually go, you don't win the game off of that, you can like create infinite mana with you have like a rocks, right? With a Bowmaster in play, you can ping the table out.
Just win the game right there.
There's a couple of situations where it's still like reasonable enough, and I think it might be good to have an option of like peer my whole deck, but like how do I win the game? Oh, Entomb Animate Dead. That gives me infinite mana, and then I can cast all the shit that I want to with the peer into the Abyss.
Yeah. This does seem really strong, I think.
It seems strong, but again, you have to like resolve your 4 mana commander, and you also have one of these specific 1 mana creatures. Then you also have to have something to do, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of a lot, but
this kind of feels like a magnet in a weird way where like you do have to play some bad cards, but you're turning those bad cards to make these good cards that you have like absolutely insane.
Right, yeah. You're not playing like something that makes a whole bunch of 1/1s and then like
you don't have to play like Empty the Warrens or something like that to make a ton of 1/1s and then use them to copy spells.
Yeah, and I like that it's like 4 mana on its own. You don't have to work to get it out. Like you do, but like you don't have to do extra steps by getting specific amount of like a whole bunch of creatures out. Like you can just cast it. And like the vigilance probably won't matter, but like vigilance is like quietly a really good mechanic when you can like pressure the Adnos player and like still keep up a block for yourself.
It's not nothing. It's funny how like it's basically almost the same thing as Aziza, but because of the color combination, it's just like infinitely better because what you can copy is so much stronger.
And the way that you only need 1 creature in play
That's
to get
the
a
other
copy
thing,
off, right? Like the casualty sacrifice the thing. You don't need 3 creatures and then something to do.
And then something else.
Just 1 creature to do it, right?
I kind of like this. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this does in the. We haven't recorded the games yet, even though the games are coming out 2 days from now.
Right. Yeah.
From when this episode comes out. So I'm really excited to see how this does in that pod. I think it's going to be great.
Hopefully it'll do it right. In the test stands, I felt like it is possible to get Peer onto the Abyss on the stack on turn 2 or 3. Turn 2 is probably lucky. Turn 3 might be a little bit more expected. But we'll see. If there's the right interaction, it does kind of seem like kind of easy to interact with, but at the same time, you're copying Demonic Tutor. So they can't really, like if you're still casualtying stuff, their counter spells are no good. Like if they counter the 1 Demonic Tutor, you can Peer into the Abyss and casualty it, and then you have 2 Peer into the Abysses.
Now if they stop the 1, you get the other one at least. And if they don't, it's 75% of each.
Yeah. With Bowmaster out, or that's not good. You know what I mean? You could Bowmaster and Peer into somebody else.
Oh, why give them all the cards? Oh, thank you. Born Upon the Wind. Here we go. Yeah.
There's a lot of overlapping synergies, I think. So
yeah,
I think the deck seems pretty neat. And we also don't have a black-white cEDH commander. I know there's like Lotho and there's like the other one, the one that combos with like Lord of the Rings cards, but none of them really seem like great to me. And maybe this is one.
Maybe this is one, yeah. 3.3 maybe?
I built it and I like it, so I'm going to give it a 3.4. It's probably mediocre, but has the potential to do some nutty things, and I'm sure I missed some stuff too.
I'm also kind of excited to see Sanar Unfinished Genius.
Yeah, this one's small.
This one's small, which I like. It's just one in a blue for a little guy who enters prepared. And
is that what it is? It's a blue and a red?
Blue and a red.
Blue and a red?
Blue and a red.
Blue and a red?
Blue and a red.
Blue and
what
a
did
red.
I say?
A one and a blue.
Oh,
similar.
One red and a blue.
One red and a blue.
Yeah, for a little guy, he's an 0/4. He enters prepared, and you can tap him to make a treasure token if you've cast an instant or sorcery this turn. And you can also cast Wild Idea with him, which for 3, a blue and a red.
Blue and a red?
Blue and a red.
Blue and a red?
You can search your library for an instant or sorcery to reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle.
Couple of powerful things this guy does. He's small.
He's very small.
He
I
makes
really
mana.
like that. Yep. And
there's some combo potential.
Yeah, he works with Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal, which is something you have not heard us say in quite a while on the channel. But it is kind of nice that even if you just like interact with someone, you can then make a treasure and then use that treasure to continue your interaction if you want, or just like use it as ramp. You can bank that mana, which I also kind of like. I like that if you do make any kind of like storm thing work out, you can use his tutor to just like go get your win condition. So if you do make infinite mana of any kind, like even with him, you can just use his tutor to go find Brain Freeze or Grape Shot or whatever you want. I kind of like him with Displacer Kitten for that reason too. I built this deck for the channel and I'm trying out the Blazing Fire Singer Displacer Kitten combo.
That works, right? Make infinite mana and then tutor for Grape Shot and you have infinite storm because that's how it works.
Exactly, yeah. I'm casting Seething Song so that way I can use Sanar to make a treasure so that way
make the blue for his ability.
You can use that for a blue for the Wild Idea that you want to cast and go get a Grape Shot.
Yeah.
For your Grape Shot's just nice and easy.
Right. And like obviously we said small, but like it's in Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Spot colors, so small isn't particularly relevant. Mox Amber works great in a deck like this because you want a bunch of mana. Obviously it's going to compare to other similar things in the color combination, so it's going to be similar to Ral. And is it better than Ral? I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not, but I do think it's close and I do think it's playable.
It gets to play a deck that doesn't need to rely on its commander so much if you want to go in that direction, whereas like VV is so much all in on trying to get Curiosity, otherwise the deck doesn't do anything.
Right.
Ral needs Ral in play so that you can storm all of these 2-mana draw cards off so that they're actually 1-mana draw card spells instead. Whereas like Sanar, I feel like you can build the deck to just be more like a generically good blue-red deck.
Blue and a red.
Play a little bit more good stuff. Like you have a little bit more room to play Mirror Maid kind of effects where you can do that in VV, but it's a little bit less good in that strategy. So like this gives you a little bit more flexibility to grind into the late game instead of being like only turbo, if that's a direction that you want to go.
This one certainly can't win on turn 2 nearly as easily as Ral can. Ral can pretty consistently put turn 2 wins on the stack.
For sure.
Whereas this one, like you said, I agree. This one's kind of like you're winning on probably turn 4 or 5 or something. You're slow. You have interaction in the early game. Every time you Fierce Guardianship, okay, I'll tap and make a treasure. You know, Deflecting Spot, okay, I'll tap and make another treasure, and then over the time you make enough mana to like search your library for Jessica's Will and then go from there, or Past in Flames, whatever you need at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That flexibility is huge.
And if you have other ways to untap them in your turn too, I think that's also really nice. I don't know exactly how many good ways there are to do that in general, but
probably not a ton.
Probably not a ton, especially ones that don't cost mana. So,
but he's close and he's good, and I like him. I will give him, because of the colors, blue red's better than black white. It's probably better than Silverquill, so I'll give it like a 3.5.
Interestingly, I think Silverquill might actually be more powerful. I think like what it might generically do is stronger.
That might be true, but worse colors and bigger.
Worse colors and bigger, and like just lets like more powerful things happen though too, like just generically.
Silverquill can't really do anything if anyone else tries to win the game. Like I'm playing Dothy Voidwalker and Opposition Agent and like technically Bowmaster as like ways to maybe do something against it. You know, I play a Swords to Plowshares, but like there's really not a ton of stack interaction in that deck.
That's fair. All right, well I'll give Sanar a 3.41 then.
There you go. Okay.
And then our last card then is Petrified Hamlet, which is when you go see a play and everyone's turned to stone. This is a land that when it enters, you choose a land card name.
This card sucks, yeah.
And yeah, I know. Activated abilities of sources with the chosen name can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Well, what the fuck is the point of this card then?
Doesn't shut off Gaia's Cradle at all.
Yeah.
Don't think that it does.
And you give Gaia's Cradle an ability. Lands with the chosen name have tap to add colorless. So it's weirdly an improved Gaia's Cradle now.
Now it can help cast Eldritch Eldrazi Confluence or something.
But don't worry, yeah, this thing also taps for colorless mana.
Yeah, I heard a couple people ask about this card because they thought it shuts off Gaia's Cradle, and it does not. I don't think this card does anything good. It shuts off Emergence Zone.
It shuts off Shifting Woodlands.
Sure.
I think there's like some metas where if you're playing against like certain decks that are very activated abilities on my lands heavy, if you're in against like Wandering Minstrel or...
But even still, like if you can play this card, it's because you are playing ways to search for land.
That's
right?
the thing, like it can only be played in a crop rotation deck.
But then like it shuts off your own Shifting Woodlands too, right?
That's the thing, yeah. Talon Gates of Madara.
Sure.
So I guess like if you can shut off or Burrow Breeze Caller line if you want your own Gaia's Cradle to stay around.
But not even that, because it shuts off their activated abilities, and Talon Gates, the relevant thing is that it's an enters trigger. Wait, activated from hand too? How does that work? Does it shuts off?
No, because it doesn't...
In play, it only cares about, right?
Stacks pieces don't give a shit about what's in your hands.
So like you can still activate Talon Gates from your hand and put it into play. You can't do the filter mana part of it. So
boo-hoo.
Like I think you can still do the rest of it.
But you can still like use it to make mana and then put that into Ouroboros Breeze Caller.
Dud,
yeah.
I rate this one dud.
I rank this one dud. Big time, yeah. Great.
Is that how we're ending the podcast?
That's how we're ending the podcast.
Nice.
On a dud.
Weirdly, I think the blue mana one, remind me of its name again.
The Exhibition Tidecaller.
I think Exhibition Tidecaller might be the card of the set, with Flashback coming in a quick second, but I could be very wrong. I'm still expecting that the Tidecaller, I'm thinking that I read that card wrong or something, but if that truly does combo with any ritual and Underworld Breach, I think that's good.
Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, target player mills 3 cards.
Right? And then you cast Dark Ritual and you mill yourself 3. And then
now this way with Underworld Breach in play,
you cast
3
Dark
mana.
Ritual again with the 3 mana, and you go up mana, and you use the cards that you just milled to recast Dark Ritual, and you just are recasting Dark Ritual, so every 3 that you mill, you recast it again, and you don't gain cards in your yard, but you gain mana, and you get to filter the cards in your yard.
And then
so
that
if you
way,
have 7 cards in your yard, eventually you find Praetor's Grasp for Thassa's Oracle.
Here's my LED, here's Thassa's Oracle.
Maybe
exactly.
Do I play this in ROG? I don't know. Maybe I play this in ROG. Maybe ROG set got 2 cards this set.
I definitely underrated this card.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3.5. I definitely should have given it more than a 3.5 because then I had to keep that in mind for every other card. Was that, hey, none of these are better than this. This little wizard that we're talking about, which by the way you can tutor for with Step Through.
That one actually might be relevant, and it's weird because like it's worse than Brain Freeze, definitely.
Yeah,
and it's on par, I think, with Grinding Station. It might be worse than Grinding Station, but I do feel that it's close to Grinding Station.
I think it's close to Grinding Station because like Grinding Station works with a lot more things that make it like a little bit easier to just turbo find what you need to.
Yeah, but realistically, Grinding Station only works with Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Grim Monolith, Mox Opal, and Mox Amber. All the Mox Diamonds, the Chrome Moxes, and the Lotus Petals, it only kind of works because you don't get to net mana at the process.
Not even Mox Diamond because...
Not even Mox Diamond because it won't even enter.
It'll enter, but you have to bin it right away before you can...
There's no chance.
Oh, wait, it'll at least untap the Grinding Station, but you can't sacrifice it.
There's no moment to sacrifice it. Yeah, whereas this works with, and I have to do the math, but this works with Dark Ritual, works with Rite of Flame, works with Cabal Ritual, works with not Culling the Weak because you have to sacrifice the creature over and over again.
No, but Seething Song.
Jessica's Will. Probably other things that I don't know why I can't think of any
other ritual.
Desperate Ritual.
Pyretic Ritual.
Pyretic Ritual. Yeah, I think it's a similar amount. The issue
Geosurge?
The Grinding Station is nice because the Mox Opal can already be tapped in play. Then you play the Grinding Station, sack the Mox Opal, and do it again. Whereas this, you can't play Dark Ritual first.
Why couldn't you?
Why couldn't you? It doesn't help feed it in the same way.
You just have to cast Underworld Breach.
You just have to cast Underworld Breach, and you have to cast this, and then even if Dark Ritual is already in your graveyard, which is the same idea as Mox Opal being tapped, if you have the mana, cast a Dark Ritual again, mill, and then...
You just need a couple of things to like already be in your graveyard, but if you cast like any other spell to get you to this point, it will fuel you at that point then too.
And just like the passive mill 3 is like so perfectly relevant for Breach because of 3.
Because of 3,
Because you hit Gataxian Probe, that's 3 cards, and you hit, you know what I mean? Like,
could you imagine then like casting 5 mana on a thing and then getting 10 and then getting to like really boost yourself ahead then too?
Sure, yeah, but like, Flashback on the Gataxian Probe, mill another 3. That's good. I think I'm going to try this card in ROG.
It seems really good. I think you should give it a try in ROG, yeah.
I think ROG is going to get 2 cards. Yawgmoth's Will is coming out.
Go tutor the Exhibition Tidecaller with your Ranger Captain Zavios too. Like, this might be something.
I'm going to go buy this card before we release this podcast.
Yeah, dude, do it. Go pay the pre-release prices. I bet all the stores are going to love that.
I'm going to realize, everyone already knows this card is going to $30 or something.
Yeah, it's already really expensive because of pre-release. I don't think you're getting ahead of anything yet.
All right.
We have to do that with reserveless cards that already exist.
You know what's really good? Grim Monolith.
Love Grim Monolith, yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to say? Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support us directly, you can do so on Patreon like our $100 patrons.
Mac the Mad, Seabass, Not Kareth, Bob the Skull, Davisher, Abyss AA, Peggy, E4 Cards and More, Red, Finks MTG, Wandering Around, Mike H, Tom Bieber, Cumin of Upkeep MTG, Nathan Cohen, Mr. Jerpy, Okie Toad, Penguin Man 0089, David Newman, Johnny Denver Omelet, Rocky Hall, Pat Fire, Spengler, Lotiony Roy, Jorbay Blue, Sparky B, Essie Phillip, Olden Groupie, Zach Hartley, Big League Banjo, Reactive, Sean of the Ice, The Works 472, Gabriel Garrett, Mace the Ace, Luke Cook, Connor Sipon, Joshua Day, Demon of Roscrease, Peter Stewart, Corner, Wild, Uncle Butts, Doot, Luke, Quadja, Hamid, Scott Hawk, and Baby G-Bus.
If you want to pick up any of our merch, you can do that at playtowinmtg.com.
Thank you, Dragon Show, for supporting the show. Use code PlayToWin5 at the affiliate link down below for 5% off.
You can follow us on the internet for more content.
Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
Max Hugh, E, Bub Russell, Devin Morrow, Ruby Supreme, Willow2998, Turtle99, Rick, Sharticus, Taizo Kitagama, Mick Saucy, Meta, Ben Finelli, Jason Brooks, Safarius, Vietnam69, Sarcastic, Mystic Muffin Man, Zachary Coulson, Dalton Poteet, Jan Wildfang, Thomas Bueno, and David Nelson.
Thanks, bye!
Woo! I did shrink this morning. I washed myself in cold water.